Generation 9 has introduced a ton of new powerful Pokemon to these games. It's literally the generation of power creep. Like, Tyranitar was pushed out of OU for the first time ever. Same with Garchomp. So clearly the power creep is wild. And one of the new Pokemon that have shined in this new generation is Kingambit, the surprise Bisharp evolution. Since this thing has come out, people were calling for its ban. With multiple abilities at once, like an Emerald Elite Redux, it makes it that much better. But this wasn't the last form for Kingambit, as it was given a new Redux variant, new moves, and abilities. Now this game is the definition of power creep, as almost everything has insane skills. So how do the Kingambits of Elite Redux hold up, and which one is better? Starting with the brand new Redux form, we have more of the faster variant, focusing more on immediate power, with it now dropping the dark typing in favor of fighting while it retains its steel type. Only having 9 resistances to the original's 11, but it no longer carries the 4 times weakness to fighting. Stats wise, its speed has been doubled while only dropping its attack slightly. It can dish out a respectable amount of damage, but speed wise, it isn't scaring that much. Luckily, it has ways to mend some of its shortcomings, and since it's not a Mega Evolution, items are still on the table. An item like a Choice Band is all it takes to make it a top tier revenge killer. Thanks to its ability Opportunist, if the opponent is at 50% or less health, all of Kingambit's moves have priority. Most Pokemon will not be living in this scenario, especially because of a lot of its moves are very strong and are being boosted by its innate Keen Edge, including the Kingambit signature Kowtow Cleave, which is just as strong even without Stab. The Stab Keen Edge moves it can have are Sacred Sword and Excalibur. Other coverage moves include Shocking Edge, Flame Tongue, Frost Brand, and Cross Poison. While it's able to deal devastating physical attacks, it's very frustrating for other physical attackers to see. Right as it enters the field, its very presence strikes fear, with Intimidate lowering the foe's attack. This helps make up the lost defense that the Redux form has. And its last innate is its signature. Olay gives Kingambit a 20% chance to invade a physical attack. Bro literally has 2 bright powders on him at all times. This can be extremely clutch. You always have to factor this in. If a move can miss, you can't just guarantee what will happen. With Opportunist, you may outspeed it initially, but if you miss, take a hit and drop below half, it will be able to hit you twice in a row. Or you could allow it free setup with Swords Dance or Rock Polish. Well, you can always counter with your own Intimidate user, right? Well, not unless you want to power up its moves even further thanks to its Defiant ability. It will have its attack raised by 2 stages if any of its stats are lowered, so good luck with that. Now, Defiant and Opportunist are among the 3 abilities you have to pick between. The last ability, Sweeping Edge, is most useful for doubles, as all of its Keen Edge moves will hit both targets. The main benefit in singles is these moves gain perfect accuracy. Great for Guillotine and Excalibur since they have 80% accuracy. Redux Kingambit is a really solid Pokemon. It won't be the savior of most teams, but it will certainly be a member you want around. But is it enough to overshadow the original? The OG Kingambit we all know and love. The premier attacker in Gen 9 and one of the best non-legendaries we've seen. Stats wise, it's nothing too crazy. 135 in attack is great, and 120 defense with its HP is quite bulky. Well, both of these are only just the base of what it has to offer. Obviously, we gotta talk about its signature ability from the base games, as it's part of the reason why it's just so strong. Supreme Overlord. This innate ability will raise its attack and special attack by 10% for each fallen ally. So its 135 base attack in most scenarios will be much higher, as this isn't a Pokemon you want to lead with. That is a max increase of 50% if it's the last Pokemon remaining, and it can still hold an item. Dark Gem boosted Stab Sucker Punch or any move with a Choice Band is just unbelievably strong, and it's doing crazy amounts of damage. It doesn't stop there. If you give it the Keen Edge ability, all of its moves are that much better. Kowtow Cleave is still a major threat. Although its coverage isn't as good as the Redux form, it still has X-Scissor, Leech Blade, and Shadow Claw. Honestly, you should always run Keen Edge, as its other ability Pressure is really not too useful. King's Wrath, its last ability, can be good, as it will raise its attack by 1 if any of its side stats are lowered, but this is much better in doubles mainly, especially because its other innate Hypercutter blocks Intimidate and Scare anyway, meaning they won't activate King's Wrath. It will raise its crit rate though, so it will pick up plenty of surprise kills. And its last ability, Battle Armor, will block critical hits from it, making it that much harder to get through. On top of that, all moves used against it have their damage reduced by 20%, making it much easier to get a Swords Dance off or even a Rock Polish, letting it reverse sweep teams. Kingambit with 1 ability was great, so honestly, what did you expect when it got 4? So which version is better? To me, the very clear answer is the OG Kingambit. The only thing the Redux form has over it is the speed, but with how much stronger and bulkier the original is, especially after you let a few of your teammates go down, that speed really means nothing. Sucker Punch goes crazy, what can I say? But let me know what your pick is. Are you a fan of the Kingambit duo? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.